5 o'clock somewhere. Y'all crack the top. We've made some milestones. We're happy to be here. We'll talk about them, but we made some way. I need to get up there and check my mileage. Maybe I'll do that when we're talking. I don't know. It's got to come on. We'll do that next one. Y'all crack a beer with us, though. Those that have come, brought beer to us, thank you very much. These beers are to y'all. We've had several that brought us beer at the last meetup, and thank you so much, guys. Every little bit helps, no doubt about it.
We have 2 dinghies. Well, actually, we needed 2 dinghies. We got 2 dinghies that run now, but at that meetup, folks brought us enough beer that I'm glad we pulled a dinghy, because you had to pick up an anchor and stuff. And
Yep.
It turned out that we also were picking up
Beer.
beer.
What a nice beer run.
Yeah, very nice.
Where are we? Beaufort,
Beaufort.
South Carolina. Not to be called Beaufort. There is a Beaufort, North Carolina, which we'll stop at, but we're in Beaufort, South Carolina. It's a beautiful place. It's another one of them anchorages that are nice.
Beaufort and Beaufort are spelled the same,
Yep, just
but
pronounced.
pronounced differently.
Yep. Guys, I'm going to come back to the questions, and we're going to go through our notes, and then I'll pop up the thing here so we can answer your questions. Thank you all that are coming in the room. So,
Yeah, I met a guy at Dallas Bluff Marina. I think that's the last place we did it live.
yep.
And he was a little bit biased, perhaps, because he was from South Carolina. And he says the way you recognize or remember Beaufort versus Beaufort, he says like this: Beaufort, beautiful South Carolina. Beautiful Beaufort. That's what he called it. And then he says the other one is Beaufort, North Carolina.
Well, to me, it kind of sounds like a northern southern thing. Like Beaufort sounds like more of a southern drawl, and Beaufort sounds because it's not spelled that way.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I just thought it was funny the way he said it, because he was clearly biased and thought that South Carolina is beautiful and North Carolina, well, they're, Beaufort.
I'm pretty biased too. I'm from South Carolina. Hey, trust me, I love Florida, but I am from South Carolina.
I haven't seen North Carolina yet, so I
Yeah.
got nothing to base it on.
So I love Georgia, but I got to tell you, we've mostly got out of the flies, and thank God for that.
Yeah.
Woo!
We crossed a particular sound,
Yeah.
inlet, whatever you call it, and they disappeared completely, because we
Yeah.
went from swamp grass, whatever you call that, marsh grass, to a place where there were lots of houses, and there was still swamp grass and marsh grass there, but it was clear that they were spraying for bugs or something. They were probably controlling them intentionally because of all the homes. So it's like a light switch. They just completely went away.
That was right there at Skidaway.
Yeah.
The Skidaway.
Yeah, when the houses showed up after we crossed,
One of those sounds.
some sound.
That was where Hell's Gate was.
Yeah. Yes.
We passed that,
Yeah.
and we made that turn.
And all of a sudden there were homes and docks and no flies.
Yeah, and I'm talking about within a quarter of a mile. They went from everywhere to nothing.
Yep.
It's like there was a barrier over Skidaway or something.
Yeah, or a barrier of DEET.
Yeah,
Something, whatever they're spraying.
yeah, they definitely spraying something. And we noticed pretty much once we're near stuff, civilization, we don't have very many. So
Yeah, maybe. Whatever the cause, I'm happy that there's no more yellow flies.
let me say a meetup tomorrow, guys, at Henry C's Chambers Park, Waterfront Park, which is right here. 6/2, so June the 2nd. Dang, it's already June 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
At 6 p.m. for those in the area. Trying to give everybody ample opportunity to make the meetups. We'll be right here 6 p.m. So if you're in the area, Beaufort tomorrow or wherever, drive in, and we'll hang out there. Try to keep it low profile on the cold beers, because I don't think it's supposed to have any part in it.
Really?
Yeah, we'll do what we got to do.
I haven't seen that enforced really down here. Maybe
Yeah, it
in
is
the
here.
northernmost states. Down here it seems that everything gets passed.
So we hinted to some news on the motors, and today we went and picked up from Bass Pro Shop 2 motors. I got a 6 horse, Marty got a 5 horse Mercury, and those things are sweet. I'm talking fires right up. We had a little thing in the beginning. I was pulling mine, he was pulling his, and I'm like, you can't be freaking kidding me.
Yeah, because they were running and then they just died.
Yeah, and they just died.
Just like your old one.
Yeah, just like my old one.
I'm like, do all Mercuries do this?
I was starting to get upset, and then Marty said,
oh, wait a second. Fuel valve.
yeah, both of them, the fuel valves were off.
Yeah.
The guy cut them off
Uh-huh.
before he loaded them.
Yeah, so when we transported them, they didn't leak all over the place.
But dude, so nice. Freaking,
Quiet.
yeah. Usually after they're warm, one pull, just go.
Yeah.
I am so freaking excited about that. Marty's had, pretty much had the dinghy, and I've been, not that I've been stuck because I can bar it, but, I've been kayaking everywhere, and not that that isn't good for, working out, but man, it opens up so many possibilities for fishing, exploring, fueling. Now we can all go because my boat will carry all of us where we couldn't really do that on the Bass Freighter. So when we want to go ashore somewhere, we can do it. So man, that's exciting.
Or we can take two boats also.
Yeah, I mean we take 2 boats, but we can also one, which is super exciting. So
it's nice. My Coleman was Old Reliable. You called it several times, and to this day, it's never stranded me anywhere. What's funny though is that, maybe the very first day I got it, I was running it and I had no fuel in it, like a dope, and there happened to be a boat right there, and he towed me back. But the boat has never left me anywhere for any length of time. But recently, I had to pull the jet out of the carburetor, and the threads that hold it were stripped, and I could barely get it to go back in, and then it gave me trouble a second time, as if there was some gunk in the gas tank or who knows what. And this time I had to actually tap out the threads that hold the jet inside the carburetor, and I thought it's time for a new carburetor. The little handle had broken off that helps tilt it up and down. So I thought, I've got a long way to go, and I don't think that this little older outboard motor was up to the task. So I kind of bit the bullet and bought a new motor with Mike. And I looked for another Coleman, couldn't find it. I wanted a 6 horse Tohatsu. That seemed pretty good, and I saw them for a comparable price, comparable weight to a 5 horse, and they're just unavailable anywhere. You can't find outboard motors.
no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So the little story was, I was, I guess, coming back from picking up the truck, and I seen there was a couple marinas in town. I was gonna go look and see about either dropping mine off or looking for new ones. And I pulled into this one little, like more of a repair shop type marina, and I asked her if she had any. She's like, honey, it's gonna be 6 to 9 months before you can get an outboard. And I said, well, and I sort of told her what we were doing. And I was like, yeah, we're just looking for like 5 and 6, or 5 or whatever. She's like, now I heard Bass Pro Shop had just a couple or had a few. And I walked outside and got on the phone, and the guy said, I got 2 left, a 5 and a 6. I called Marty real fast. I said, you want one? And we just verified that they were short shafts, which they were, thank goodness.
Uh-huh.
And we put a deposit right there and said, we're coming to get them. So we came and got them today. Tuesday was the day.
Yep. That's a big expense, but it's
Yes.
something that is going to benefit us for years now,
Yes.
for the rest of the loop.
Yeah. I look at it as we've talked about, it's a tool for us to do like our job now, to be spreading, information and spreading videos. So it's definitely going to help with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you got to do it. You have to do it as hard as it is. I remember when I was doing carpentry work, I remember buying a chop saw. It was a 12-inch sliding chop saw. And it grated on my soul to spend so much money on a tool, but I knew that without the tool I couldn't make money. So I wouldn't have money to spend on it if I didn't have the tool. So it's a cyclical thing, and I realized I got to do it. tools on the boat are the same way. An example is, not only did I just get an outboard motor, but I committed to buy an anchor from West Marine, 44-pound rock mount. And it should be there before very long, probably next week. I'll pick it up. And it's expensive. It's not a cheap thing. However, the alternative, we'll continue with some more stories that involve dragging anchor and not being comfortable. And it was really starting to test my patience, and I thought, I can't do this anymore. I cannot stay here. I'm not going to risk my boat. So the alternative is pick up a mooring ball or go to a marina, which costs money. And if I don't have confidence in my ground tackle, then it's going to cost me money over and over and over again. If I break down and get a big anchor that everybody raves about, this is supposed to be the top of the knob right here.
Boy, it better hold. I can't imagine. I don't know what to do other than put a second anchor on.
Yeah, we got to choose our places better maybe. Some places are too narrow. You can't put out enough scope, which is the length of the line or rope that holds your anchor. If you don't have enough distance to do that, you're not giving your anchor a fair chance to hold you. So we're learning, and but the bottom line is I spent money on an anchor, but it's going to save money in marina costs and mooring balls in the future. So there's that.
So that takes us right into the story at Buckhead Creek, which when we left the last time we did a live at 5, we were in Dallas Bluff. And we tried to do one day, and it was showing live, and some of y'all will remember this. I couldn't figure out what the freak was going on. I'm like, it's live, but when there was nobody in the room. Well, long story short, I had changed the setting so things went to unlisted. So it was, anyways, long story short, that's what happened. So
it wasn't signal problems.
Yeah, it wasn't a signal problem like we thought. Although we did have some signal problems. One time we had a great one, and then one time it was grainy. So, we can't help that. We do the best we can do on that.
Yeah, Buckhead Creek or whatever it was called was awesome. It was in the middle of nowhere. There weren't that many flies, surprisingly. Hardly any boat traffic, and it was so quiet there. It was so gorgeous, so isolated and beautiful. Wide open. I did drag anchor there, and I was given a new anchor, and I thought, my problems are solved. Nope. I drug like the first day, which made my stress level go up a little bit, but it was such a beautiful setting, and we had plenty of room, so when I did drag, no harm, no foul.
The bottoms there are interesting, and you can see it on our depth finders. The bottoms do like this, where that current is flowing through, it washes out low areas and then deposits on the high.
You've seen it at a beach, when there are dunes and ripples.
Yep, but this is like 5-6 feet worth of, drop. And the good thing about that is if you set originally on the high, you might pull right off. But if it catches, it drops down and it may pull into because I drug too.
Yes.
But as soon as I got out there, it hung and stopped. And the main reason I moved again was I felt like I had a good set, but the tide was coming up. It was some major swings, 11 foot? I think it was swinging 11 foot.
Yes.
So you're at say a 12 foot here, and your scope is good, but then it goes up, then you lose the amount of scope that you got, and it's not. That's what I think pulls us loose. But
I remember thinking to myself, we're so far from any kind of light pollution. It's going to be a great night. We're going to see lots of stars, and the full moon came out, and I saw this.
But it was a cool full moon, though. Man, that was cool.
Right.
Did you see the blood moon in the morning?
No.
About 4 o'clock. I don't know why it's so late, but about 4 o'clock that morning, I got up, hit the head, and the moon was shining through, and it was just as blood red I looked back later on the thing, and it said it was a blood moon.
Wasn't it supposed to be a lunar eclipse or something?
I don't know, but that blood moon, it shows it doesn't happen till almost like the sun sets and it gets red. It's when the moon sets, it gets red, and it was really cool looking.
Yeah.
I don't know if I caught it on camera, but
we've seen some neat stuff, that's for sure.
Yeah. So after Buckhead Creek, we made our way on up to Skidaway, which was a cool area. We've done a meetup at like I don't know. Oh, it's called the Moon River. It was actually called the Moon River,
Yep.
which is where that song Moon River comes from. I found that out from actually a friend we made that's pretty close. He's probably watching. We did a meetup there, and then we had some great guys come out. That's where we had all the beer. They brought a ton of beer. Man, it was cool. We sat around, we chatted, we passed stories.
I think on the map it was called Skidaway Narrows, and it was very narrow.
Yeah.
And there were a bunch of islands, some of which you could kayak to easily from the boat ramp that was there. And the islands were awesome places to explore. There was a state park right there, Skidaway Island State Park, I believe it was called. And what a cool place, man. Just a little paradise for anybody who likes to go out and camp and just get away from it all. It was right there for you. For walking the dogs, it was 50 yards, maybe less, depending on which way I was swinging the
That
boat.
was as close as you've been. I think you've
It
been.
was so easy to walk the
You
dogs.
could probably just push the boat off and just float it all the way over there.
Yeah. Now the problem with it though was how narrow it was, and despite the fact that the current goes this way and that way in a river, we were between two sounds, almost in between, just in the middle. So the tide would go up and it would go down, but it wouldn't flow hard this way or that way. And what that meant is that we would circle around. Sometimes we would go towards the land. Sometimes we'd come way back this way out towards the channel. And I've got a photograph of my chart plotter, and it shows the ICW, and my circle where I was anchored is dead smack in the middle of the channel. And at about 4 o'clock in the morning or something, it was later than that, I think, because it was just getting daylight. I heard what sounded like a locomotive engine idling right past my boat. Just that boom, 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 boom. You know, if you've ever been close to a locomotive engine, they rattle your insides. And my eyes open wide in the darkness in my berth, and I come out of the boat, and there's like a 4-story tugboat right next to my boat, pushing a barge that was as big as a football field. And I can't believe he didn't blow his horn or anything. I assume he could have stopped if I was in his way. If he couldn't, and I was in his way, I wouldn't be having this conversation right now. And yeah, so.
And we've had similar incidents. Some
Not that
just like
close.
that, no problem.
Yep.
Well, the one that came when you met them guys.
Yep.
Wherever it was south of Daytona.
He was that was
That
far away, but
Yeah.
that guy was making a big wake.
No, yeah, but I meant the next one. Remember the next one I told you? I wavered over waking them up, and I said, nah, just let it go. The same thing, it went right by. But it appears that the barges move, from what we can tell, mostly at night. Probably so they're avoiding all this traffic that's out
Maybe.
during the day. But,
That guy was coming by around high tide too, and it was slackish.
Yeah,
And-
and I can see why, because
He wouldn't have fit
where was
at
the
low tide in that spot.
Yes. Or no, it was north of there.
I was out of my mind. I was like, I can't stay here. I can't stay here.
I was nervous. I think it was the next day when we moved. We passed some areas, and I was telling Marty, I don't want to move at low tide anymore, because, I mean, I seen 3s, which was really 4, but any minute the props are going to be digging. And that actually was right at Savannah River. That was right there before Savannah River.
Yeah, we were changing states, but
Yep.
it was late in the day. We just couldn't find a place that was suitable to anchor, and yeah, we just kept pushing. Late in the day is when the low tide was, so
Yeah, because we normally move on high tide, but we pushed up through to the Fusky Island. The Fusky Island was pretty cool.
Yep.
We had there was a dock there. We made it a free dock. It's really an island. Can only get to it by boat.
yep. They got a restaurant, and they've got like a playground for kids and a big,
Dog friendly.
yep, big lawn, and they've got cornhole set up, and it's just like, what a cool place to hang out. Very, very laid back.
Some docks that could
Lots
be free.
of space for docks.
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of kids coming and going too.
Yeah.
I can imagine
Yeah.
having a playground like that when I was 20 years old, or if they were 20.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was a bunch of kids.
Yeah. Yeah,
kids on boats. I mean, like compared to where I grew up, that's such a cool thing, you know.
Yeah. So I remember. So this I want to mention because I'll mention in videos, but when I did the trip before and I came down in 2002,
Who's blowing you up?
I don't know. I did. I noticed there's a lot of places that have public docks, but a lot of them don't. You're not supposed to stay overnight. And then you got marinas that have big docks and lots of docks. And just like that was a public dock, you can generally, if you come in real late and you're up and gone by daylight, it's, it's pretty common people do that. And they stay on the dock, and it saves you some money to be real. So you can do that, especially if you're in a bit of a dangerous, you're in weather, you're in whatever, and there's a dock. There's supposed to be, and I hadn't actually checked into it, something called a safe harbor rule that if you're in danger, you're allowed to go to a dock.
I've heard of people doing things like the Great Loop off season, where mooring balls, the fields are completely empty, there's no boats, and you just pull up, you grab one, and the next morning you go.
Yeah.
And they just travel the whole way, not paying for anything.
Yeah.
And nobody really cares. It's just it's an accepted kind of pirate mentality that is part of the boating lifestyle.
Because trust me, they making plenty of money during the season.
Yeah.
So, then the next thing where we was just talking about, we crossed into South Carolina, crossed the Savannah River. That's where we decided to push on. We wanted to get further up.
That's where Paris Island is, I think, right?
No, it's right here. But man, we're talking Savannah River at Savannah when we crossed.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I couldn't figure out where the channel was. You seen me doing this. I'm trying to find the channel.
Yep.
And it went, now it was low tide, and if you add 10 foot, it's plenty of water, but that's why I said, damn, I don't want to move at low tide. That's just too scary.
So much water moves through that as you're boating along, you look down and you see clouds of mud being churned up, and that's on a normal day.
And when we first saw that, remember, we thought it was the bottom because it looks very reminiscent of the bottom, like you see the bottom.
Yeah, it looks inches deep.
Yeah.
But it's not that. It's just mud getting thrown up by the torrent of water that's moving past.
And
imagine a storm.
Oh yeah.
A storm is going to take sand from over here and it's going to put it over here.
And that's what that's doing.
And they're going to meander and move. Yep.
Yep. And it can be nerve wracking. That can be nerve wracking when you. So we've been doing it right. We've only moved. I don't even know if we've moved on low tides very much at all. The other day was probably the first time. We always try to catch it just right, and we do. Yeah, I don't want to move on low tide. There's some places that are a bit scary. So, but that was another big crossing Savannah River. There was some big tugboats coming. They were pulling like a half-mile long worth of what was it like? Looked like big buoys, like where they had buoyed off the river. Did you see that? It was behind that one tug. It was the first tug, and then the second tug was pulling the buoys. I'm talking about, I don't know what he'd have done if, like, he wasn't going to stop. They were the buoys where they were working. They buoyed an area off, a big work area, and I guess they moved them buoys in and out. That's the only thing I know.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, but it was interesting to get across there, and then we hit a couple more shallows, but then we turned into the Bay of Defusky Island, which we talked about. That was that island where we just said we stayed, and so that was cool. And then we made it to Hilton Head Island, and so we got there, because we got up real early from Defusky, and we were there by like 11 o'clock or 10, something like that. And actually, we were looking around. Marty needed to get a little fuel, and
what a great marina, dude! There's a guy there named Ben at Hilton Head. It was called Skull Creek Marina, and this dude was running around. He was super nice, super busy. People that have been there for a few days tell me that he's there 7 days a week, and just taking care of everybody like he owns the place. He's a dock master. His name is Ben. He's at Skull Creek. What a cool dude, man. Really, I mean, it was him and one girl taking care of the place on Memorial Day weekend.
Boats everywhere.
Yes, coming and going. They were running down, helping people untie, and yeah, just
That marina where I was at, back in Thunderbolt, same way, the girl
running. On
running.
Yes.
And I said, you must own the place. She said, no, I just care. And I'm like, you sure do. She was running up and down because of the tides are so much. Man, you go some places where you're a little nervous to walk down that gangway because it's at such a steep angle, and they have to put little pieces of metal. They can't make them too big because you'll trip over them. But yet, yeah, because you'd slide down them, like for sure if it was wet too.
Yeah, I pulled up to that place. I fueled up. I met some cool people. Ben told me that I was in luck and he had a slip for me. Because again, I was up to here with anchoring, and until I fixed my ground tackle situation, I told Mike, I says, I can't anchor up tonight. I cannot do it. I was starting to get so fatigued, I was worried that I wasn't thinking straight. And I was so looking forward to staying there that night. And you had found a place, you said you were comfortable anchoring out, and you went and looked for a place, but that didn't work out, I guess.
Yeah, I went and anchored, and when we passed it on lower tide, it had grass up and it was protecting, there was a sailboat there and whatever, and it looked pretty good. But then by the time we did all that we did, you were fueling. I went down there and anchored up to check it out while he was fueling, and the tide came up, and then all the boats passing, there was no barrier protection from the ICW. I was like, this ain't cool. This ain't like what we thought it was. And so, which sometimes we do. We're like, nope, let's just push on. And we had done made like, I don't know how many miles that day, probably 20 to 30, because it was, I think, 60 total. So we're like, let's just push on. And we pushed all the way.
We came here, did we not?
Yeah, we came to Beaufort. Yep.
Yep. And then
which kind of sucked.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
following sea and everything.
Woo.
The wind was at our back, but the tide was at our face strong, and the boats were doing a lot of this nonsense as we're trying to stay straight, you know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Plenty of water. I mean, aside from that, and you know, it was uneventful. Our motors are doing better, thank goodness. But by the time we got here, I grabbed the mooring ball, tied off, and I immediately felt the adrenaline dump, and it was like 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was like ready for sleep, man. I cannot stay awake. I did get a little bit of a second, third wind or whatever, and then finally fell out and slept for about 16 hours. I was done. I had been a cat-like readiness for I don't know how many days, expecting either to get run over by a barge or to drag anchor or, oh my gosh. I was so happy to be finally tied up to something stationary, and the past couple of days here have been like a recovery from a traumatic event.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I'm starting to feel better, and some good things are coming from it. You know, between getting the outboards and just getting our stuff together, finding a place finally that has that anchor that I want, and hopefully that cures some of those ills. Woes. We have somebody that we're going to meet to fish with from a kayak, so that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting.
That's Thursday. We're going to do a fishing, of course, video and all. Yeah. We actually had one for Friday too, but the guy got COVID.
Right.
He called today and said, "Man, I contracted COVID," and the guy that's helping us or lined it all up. Super nice guy. Y'all will meet him on Thursday. He was very apologetic. I'm like, dude, it ain't your fault. I mean, it's COVID. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, you can't help that. But
it actually enables us to move.
Yeah.
A day earlier, so that we're not moving on a weekend.
Yeah, because we try not to do that.
Yep.
So we'll be in Charleston this weekend. It's early in the month, but we're trying to step it up a little bit so that we can spend more time probably in the Chesapeake Bay, and then probably up. Northern Hudson.
We could move, stop, but what that does is it occasionally will make us stop in places that are not cool to hang out in. The place on land might be cool. Savannah's a good example of that. Savannah was great town. We drove through it, but holy mackerel, it's just not geared towards people who like us who want to tie up somewhere or anchor up somewhere. There was no place for us. If you drive there wasn't even places.
Yeah.
I mean,
On a Thursday.
I found an easier time finding a parking space in downtown Manhattan, in the villages, on a weekend.
That's true talk.
Yes.
We drove around like 20 minutes. We went to 3 public garages.
All full.
All full.
Yep.
Finally, we gave up. We're like, screw this.
There was no place to stop.
Yeah.
I
We
would've
did drive
loved-
down what's called River Street. But
Yeah.
you know what? It's basically a tourist trap. It's
Yeah.
the same kind of places selling the same kind of stuff.
You want an $8 coffee? That's your place.
That's your place.
It was set in a wonderful old historic place.
Yes, that's what was cool about it.
Yes.
It's probably cool to drive to, stay in a bed and breakfast where you can walk around, but very old city. But because Savannah River, you don't realize it till you go, is super commercial. They should have laid that out a little differently
Yes.
because all the big ships go north of Savannah. All the ships to get unloaded have to pass by the very docks that you're supposed to tie up to.
They were empty. Did you notice that? There wasn't a
Yes.
single boat there.
Yeah. I did see some like one day when we was going over the bridge, but I was thinking to myself, dude, I'd have been scared to death. Good times getting bammed against the docks.
Yeah, there's 600-foot boats going by.
Yeah, like the biggest boat to go in there came by
On the 26th.
on the 26th. We were just south of it. We were trying to see it, but
Yeah. It was a giant container ship or something.
huge.
Yeah, if you're 200 meters long, great place, very accommodating.
Yeah.
They've got cranes, they'll take stuff on and off your boat, no problem. But if you're 30 feet long,
Not so much.
and you want to, no. Sorry, we got no room for you.
So we'll answer some questions here real quick. Tom says, what's up guys? Do y'all have AIS or satellite on your boats? No, sir.
I've talked to some people that are hardened by miles and miles and miles of travel, and they tell me that AIS isn't what it's cracked up to be. They said if you're offshore and you're going to go down below and not pay attention, AIS is great. And I mentioned, what about asking for a pass on a river? And he's like, you can hail somebody on the water. You can do it without knowing their name. I did it coming here. I came up to a bridge, didn't know the name. And I just asked, hey, bridge tender, this is northbound vessel, approaching. And I asked for what the height was at the moment. And it wound up being like 26 feet. Funny.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I don't need an opening, thank you so much. Had a nice, pleasant conversation with the bridge tender. Didn't know the name of it, didn't matter.
Yeah.
I was coming up on a vessel, and I'm like, this is a northbound vessel behind the giant tanker. You can do it. And I think the only advantage to AIS is if you're blind and you want to know somebody's coming or whatever.
Yeah. Maybe offshore, like, people that are traveling
That being said,
at night.
I did put it on my list of wants for when we're doing the rivers in Mississippi and places where barge traffic is really, really heavy. We haven't seen that here. There are barges, but
No, like, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, again, I have thought for a long time that AIS is something that is really, really important. And the more people that I meet that actually travel, a lot of people are telling me, nah, there's a lot better things you can spend your money on.
Tiger says Forrest Gump area. That's true, sir.
Yes.
We can see the bridge that Forrest Gump run over right there. I'll show you. Yeah, right there. He just. I've shot some video about that, and I actually watched a couple movies. Just reminding myself. The Big Chill was shot here. I went up and looked at the house where that was. I think I'm gonna watch Forrest Gump again just to remind myself about.
The first part's good, but then it gets sad.
Yeah.
Then the houses that are around here have wraparound porches, multi-levels. I mean, big columns, beautiful live oaks around them.
Beautiful.
Green grass. It's
This is a nice city to come to.
gorgeous, man.
Tyler.
Unbelievable.
Tyler says was just at Fripp Island last weekend on the sandbar. I wonder if it's not right here. I don't think.
There's a sandbar right across from us that it looked like a hornet's nest in the summertime. I don't think you'd be able to see the sand.
Yeah. No,
And as far as I could tell, people are coming up there, tide dumps out, and your boat just sits there. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's true. We seen them. Yeah, they were
and then
stuck.
you jack your motor up and you wait for the tide to come back in.
I guess that's party on till
Oh my gosh.
whatever.
Because, by us, we have an island, and everybody gets around the perimeter of the island, and there's only so much perimeter. Here, it seems like they just everybody just parks like a parking lot.
Yeah.
And then the water goes out, and everybody's stuck there, and everybody's getting nutty and hanging out. Honestly, as busy as it wasn't that crazy.
No,
So-
it really wasn't.
Yeah, boaters were pretty respectful. However, DNR was out there and the sheriff, and they were unrelenting.
Yes.
They did not take any nonsense.
I'm convinced it's ignorance. People just don't know. But, man, when everybody else is running slow, that ought to give it away that maybe I should slow down a little
Yeah.
bit.
And again, most people were astonishingly respectful compared to some places that I've seen in the past, where it's like, I don't get it. Why? But I think if everybody does it, it rubs off.
Yeah.
So if somebody shows respect, somebody else sees that, they're respectful. Another person sees them being respectful, and it's just perpetual. You know, if somebody's being acting a fool, and then everybody
Yes.
else is like, hey, if they're doing it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So it's the mindset of the area. that
You
they're
can
in.
see it when you see the boats coming in that are going slow. Pretty much everybody behind them comes in slow.
Yeah.
If you see one flying through, then they all start flying.
Yeah, it's
and-
like a mob mentality.
Yes, it is.
And the mob around here seems very respectful. Respectful.
Loretti, North Carolina in the house. Country Gambino. Good afternoon to you.
Gambino. Didn't we see like a restaurant called Gambino's or something like that? It was like a pizza place or something.
Yeah, peace place.
What was
Yeah.
it called? It was like a famous mobster's name to it.
I can't remember, but there is a nice pizza place here. If you come uptown, look for the little pizza place uptown. Very good pizza.
Oh man.
Wood-fired grill.
Yep, yep.
What you had the chicken parm. I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
pizza and something else. Oh, I had a white sauce, so chicken, or it had some whatever. it was.
Yeah, we had salad there.
Yeah, it was good. That's worth a stop. I'm pretty much a pizza connoisseur.
We actually sat in a window box, I sat in a chair, and he was in the window box on a cushion, surrounded by bricks and everything, and window, it was
Cool place.
very cool, man.
Yeah. Hello from Brooklyn, Wisconsin.
Hey, I was gonna say, forget about it.
Arthur
What do they say in
Arthur
Brooklyn?
Dawson. Didn't know there was a
What-
Brooklyn, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I knew there was a Brooklyn somewhere else.
Florida Buckeyes. I was stationed there at the Navy Corpsman several years ago at Paris Island. Thank you for your service.
Yes, sir. Thank
Beautiful Beaufort by the sea. Yes, sir. We can see Paris Island sitting right here. I'll point it out when we do a 360 when we're done.
you. There's a naval school there too, like a little bit further up. Did you see it?
No.
It seems in the shadow of Paris Island.
That must be
There's
what
a
he's
big
talking
there's a big water tower that says "We make Marines," and then further up there's another water tower and that says something about the Navy, but it's situated. The letters on the water tower are situated so you can't see it from the water. So you can't really see until you're further away from it, and then it's blocked by a bridge or something. So
I've known several Marines that talk about, how the different forces talk back and
Chevy
forth.
and Ford.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, the Marines and everybody else.
Michael Brown, hello from Battle Creek. What species of fish are y'all trying for next? So we don't know. We got this guy lined up. He actually went and pre-fished today to help make sure we're getting hooked up. So I really don't know. I don't know what the...
I know a girl that I met at a trade show that lives around Isle of Palms, and I'm fairly certain here I helped her catch her first sheep's head. I showed her how to use cribs and this and that. She was very happy. She went back to where she lived, and she caught sheep's head. Blow my mind, amazing big giant sheep's head. And then she had pictures of herself hugging these 50 some odd inch redfish. Isle of Palms, not too far from here. So I'm assuming there are enormous.
She
school
had
of-
some enormous
No.
redfish.
What do you- There's mine goes in the gutter every.
Tex Tiger,
I think there's big redfish around here. That's what I was thinking.
good coastal fishing in South Carolina. Well, we're gonna find out. I hope. Let's see. It actually is. I was born in the state, and it is down by. It definitely is. Carmer Ariel. Good afternoon, fellas. Dinghies flying true now. Yes, sir. Halftime is moving along, dude. I'm getting ready when we get done. I'm
Halftime.
going to see a buddy.
You're calling
who's
it
anchored-
halftime?
Yeah, halftime for
That's
sure.
funny.
I am so excited about that because I get to get out and go run around. I'm going to see a buddy that's. I'm trying to talk him into do a YouTube channel because he's got so much information on where to anchor, where to go. He's been doing this for a long time, so yeah, it's doing good. Love Marty's catch and cook. Matt says with huge trout.
Oh, yeah,
Also
yeah.
think the kayak state of mind Facebook post is a great idea for sharing the good times on the trip. Cool deal. I hadn't heard that kayak state of mind.
Yeah. Right.
Is that a
I like it.
yeah?
I mean, it really
That's cool.
represents less stress in life. I think that's
Sound like a new tagline.
yeah,
Kayak state of mind. Good times
Yep.
state of mind. Yep.
it's a good thing, man.
Matt also been enjoying your Luke videos, Mike. Thank you, sir. The maps really help to see what you guys are doing. So someone else said, I can't remember the name, I'm gonna do on the lives is I'm gonna call out. This somebody was saying call out the marker numbers when we because then they can look right on there and see where we are. So
That's smart. Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'll start doing that. Mountain Men Jim Reddick, thank you AMC. Woo, buddy, hey, we all been doing some AMC. Thank you AMC. AMC probably brought the motors for me today. Look at it coming right through the darn field.
Yep. Yeah. She the most respected person.
I think we know
Yep. You think?
them.
Maybe.
Guys, I just gotta say, if you buy any stocks, just take a look at AMC. I'm not a stock advisor. I'm just telling you. So far, it's been doing
I've
great.
never bought a stock before in my life, and I had yeah. I put a little money into it, thinking to myself, I'll never see that money again. And now I'm gonna buy a cruise ship. No. It's not that. I mean, whatever. It's,
Just take a look. Like, we'd be remiss if we didn't say take a look. Don't spend money you ain't got, but I'm just telling you, take a look.
I don't know. I still, my skin crawls when I think about it. I went to a casino in Canada. Very first time I went to Canada, this is years and years ago, long before Pelican kayaks and all that stuff. And we went to a casino. We didn't even need passports. We just was like, we were at the border. We're like, we're gonna go gamble. They're like, okay, man, have fun. And we went. And then I did not like it. I actually told my friends, I can't stay in here. I can't stay in here. I don't like it. So then me and gambling, not so much. But stocks and making money is that easy? Then
It is gambling, though.
It
Trust
is
me when I
gambling,
tell you,
yeah.
it is gambling.
yeah, I don't like it. I don't. It
Do
seems-
not use money you
seems-
can't
it seems
afford
dirty.
to lose. But
It's like hanging out with a prostitute, or not that I don't know what that's like, or not that prostitutes
come on,
are
that
bad
sounds like a
people.
pretty good story.
Yeah. That's for a different channel.
Scott Johnson, the Lord was looking over you guys. Hey, dude, he's always been looking over. That did I not say that? What a blessing that was. How the darn motors worked out. Oh my gosh!
I'm
I
happy
mean,
that he looks after drunks and fools.
no doubt. Country Gambino, I think the Tahatsu makes Mercury small engines. I don't know. Mercury, I don't know.
I really wanted a 6-horse Tohatsu short shaft or whatever you call it, because it was 57 pounds, which is a little lighter than the Coleman 5-horse. So it's lighter and it has like a forward-facing shifter. And
Yeah.
I thought I was resolved to getting a Mercury, like, oh well. And it turns out the Mercury has a forward-facing shifter also.
Yeah, they
So,
seem
woohoo!
nice.
Yes.
Let's
It's laid
see.
out so good. On the fuel shut-off on the old motor was under the handle and it was a little difficult, even with my small hands, to get to. Now the fuel shut-off is right on the side, easy to get to.
Yeah.
And it could be because it's a newer model, because mine is 6 years old or something.
I tell you, the only thing those Mercuries didn't have that I've seen, what was it? I said Yamaha. They had the shifter on the handle. That would be kind of cool,
Yep.
but I'm telling you, it's only this much further back where this shifter is. They put it on the front. It's good. It's good motors.
Yeah, they're brand new.
You'll see
So,
lots of videos. Danielle says, jealous guy from Sweden, salute you. Hey man, I gotta say, we finally living the dream, that's for sure. Mike Classing, Country Gambino, I think you're correct. Oh, there was something going. They talking amongst themselves.
No, they're saying that Tohatsu makes Mercury or vice versa.
Price match at West Marine, even Amazon sold by Amazon. You know the problem right now, bro, is you can't find them.
Yeah.
They ain't cutting you no deals. The other thing that guy said,
price went up.
He said this was like the 30th. He said the price goes up on the first $200. I said lock them in. That's when because he told me $200 a piece. They were going up 2 days later. Yeah. So
it's not surprising because of the desire for it. You know, when the demand goes up, the price goes up. I mean, I'm no financial expert, but that seems like the way it is.
Some people hovering out there, I'm sure that.
Yeah, maybe.
Big block cutlass, 123. Oh,
big block.
Matt, have you guys considered pulling your outboards off the dinghies instead of letting them soak in the salt? Might extend the life. Bro, his boat's a lot easier.
I kicked them up
out
of the water.
Yes, me
so
too.
They're not just sitting in the water at all.
Yeah, no, when we're pulling, they're kicked up. You know, they're sitting in the water if we're running around and whatever, but once you get underway, we kick them up. I can't just haul mine up and down off the back of Good Times.
Yeah, every time you do that, you risk dropping it into the water, and that will definitely decrease the lifespan of your engine.
Matter of fact, I always have Marty give me a rope and we tie that sucker off because I got to carry it up 6 foot of stairs.
Yeah, it's precarious. Like you might either hurt yourself or lose the motor. So, believe me, I'm very jealous of seeing people with davits on the back of their boat who pick the entire dinghy motor, everything, right out of the water, because they don't have to clean the bottom of their dinghies. They don't have the additional drag when they're underway, increasing their fuel consumption. I get it, man. I would love to do it, but my boat is so laden with stuff, it wouldn't be able to handle the weight.
Yeah.
So we have no choice but to pull them.
Matt Kastner said you won't be dragging anchors when you get on the river system. I agree with that on the west side of the loop. So I definitely understand what you're saying. Dude, we didn't drag anchors on the west coast of Florida. We were laughing how you can have an anchor half the size that we got. You don't ever pull. It's like damn. You must have went in between us and the mooring ball.
He's spraying water around.
Yeah. You feel all this bouncing darn jet skis went right. I'm talking about right
jet ski
there.
Did that. A little tiny vessel.
But on the west coast, bro, of Florida, it's so much easier boating. This East Coast is a little different animal for sure. It ain't that you can't do it, but you better pay attention. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's a different animal. Like that's a good way to put it.
Juan Moore says, something jump around. Whew. Jay Hen, hey guys, get you some bait. Hope all is well. Thank you so much, brother. Jay Hen, man, you are always good for a super chat. I really do appreciate you. You all the time. I mean, like all the time. I definitely raise a beer to you, no doubt about it.
There are people that I could never say thank you to enough.
It's true.
It's kind of difficult, you know, to not be able to give back to certain folks. All you can do is really just kind of keep on keeping on, you know.
Spread as much content as we can spread.
Yeah. Whatever is eliciting that type of response, we should just keep doing it.
Yeah. Dude, and we want to spread as much as we can with y'all. We're trying different things, different ways to see. Sometimes it's a challenge. I know I'm doing a little better with my content. Well, we both are. But it is cool.
I just hope that once it gets better, we have more time for fishing, more time for editing. And honestly, editing to me is not that bad, but with the slightest distraction, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Richard asked, Marty, what size kayak do you recommend for a 6'3" tall person? I'm 6 foot, 260 pounds of pure sexy. So I have, I'm just kidding. I have to catch 120.
You're all right. I mean, your agility means a lot. how, you know,
Very, yeah, very true.
I've seen folks who are very big who can throw their weight around and they're light on their feet despite their size. And then I've seen people my size who are fragile and very clumsy. So that has a lot to do with it. Also, where do you want to fish? Getting a boat that can handle your size, of course, is a delicate thing to broach, especially when I was doing a rental business, you know, and a above average size woman would show up and she wants to get into a kayak. I would have to be very tactful about that without being offensive. But you know what? Physics are physics, and if you're a big person, tall, heavy, whatever the case may be, you're not going to be able to use the same kayak as a smaller person. My advice would be to try as hard as you can to find a place that does what do they call them? Demos.
Yep.
You know, where you can get on the water and actually try one.
But let me tell you from a big guy's perspective, after a little bit of practice though, we was just talking about this today, I'm putting a kayak handle on my rope, which is attached to the front, and I can now stand up in my kayak, which, you know, I used to be envious. I'd see Marty, but I've just learned how to do it, so now I can stand up.
That's a Pelican Catch 120.
Yeah, great. That's a great kayak.
Well, how much, is it wrong for me to ask how much you weigh?
I said 260 pounds
260,
of pure
260.
sexy.
Yeah, when I hear you say that, my mind just is like la 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 la. So 260, okay.
So what is so I'm 6 foot, so a guy 6'3", you might, I don't know, depends.
Yep. Unfortunately, you know me, I love Pelican, and they make some great boats. For big folks, it might not be for you. There's honesty for you. I mean, I hate saying it, but a lot of their boats are geared towards smaller folks. And then they have problems with manufacturing. They have a choice to make a 10-foot boat or a 12-foot boat. And a lot of times nowadays, they're going for the 10-foot boat. They can only make one. Logistics say they can only make one, and they're choosing the smaller boats now. And it hurts their demographics, but they're going for, I think, a smaller audience. There's plenty of boat companies out there. Wilderness is a great one that makes boats for bigger folks.
What was that wide one that I tried that I used yours? It was a little wider than the Catch. It was very stable.
The Power 100.
Yeah, very stable, side to side.
Yeah, that was their widest boat to date. I think it's like, gosh, I can't remember the width of it, 38.
So that was a 10-foot boat, but it's got,
it's designed to take
inches.
a motor and stuff.
Yeah.
I saw one today at Bass Pro Shop, today.
Yeah.
A Power 100 for sale.
I would definitely take a look at one of those. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Because it was stable. It felt very stable to me.
And what's nice about that is it's not a gargantuan boat.
Yeah.
A lot of times the bigger kayaks are harder to tote around because they're just so heavy.
Yeah.
And then at that point you need a trailer, and it's like if you're going to go through all that effort, why not just get a boat or a dinghy?
Yeah, but I'll tell you, them kayaks, man, being able to just throw them up in the back of your truck and freaking go.
Easy. That's why the Power 100 is great. Small, lightweight.
I would definitely look at that one. I really do like that one. I love to Catch 120. That's probably my favorite. I don't know. I might one day try to get one.
The Bass Raider almost ruined me, man. Once I got that, I was like, wow, I got a paddle? I don't want a paddle. I got a motor now. So, and the Bass Raider, obviously not meant for saltwater, is good enough for me to use it as a dinghy on a 6,000-mile journey. So.
Paul S., thank you very much for the super chat, buddy. I'm going to raise another beer to you. Thank you so much. If you have a question, put it in there so I can make sure to answer it. So, guys, we've been running here almost an hour. Y'all, if you're in the Beaufort area, come out and hang out with us tomorrow. Drink a cold beer and we'll talk. We'll set up there. You know, something we definitely try to spend some time and answer questions. It's always a good time. We usually at least give you a koozie out of it. We always try to have a koozie available for you. So
it's, you know, in the grand scheme, we've got so much going on, and I will admit a little more honestly that sometimes it's like, man, I got so much to do. We ain't got time for this. meetup stuff, and then we go and we do the meetups, and I'm like, I had a great time. People are
Every
so
time.
nice,
Every-
and I never regret it. So
Yeah.
if you guys make the effort, the least I can do is hang out and share the enthusiasm a little bit with you guys.
Yeah.
Come on out, let's do this.
I got some stuff coming. I got a couple videos, new stuff coming here pretty soon. So check it out. Some opportunities. I'm ready to get some people on board. I got my buddy, Mountain Man Jim Reddick. He's coming here before, but y'all gonna have some opportunities coming.
You had Chris
real
on board.
soon.
When's that video coming out?
That's part of that. Chris is Chris was in the last video. Chris helped a lot on one of our big loop ups.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
just
he
someone
came
that I've
aboard.
met along the way.
Yeah,
He's been extremely generous, very nice.
very helpful.
Gave us hats. The hats are great. Him and Fawn is significant other.
Yeah,
Got their relationship
yeah,
status.
yeah. Check it out. Check it out. Yeah, man.
I thought it looked like a Texas boot.
Yeah, but they call it a cracker hat.
Yeah,
Look at that Florida cracker.
yeah,
How nice, dude! And it's so big.
yeah. Straw hats are awesome. Look at you.
How cool is that?
Yeah. There's your 260 pounds of sexy.
Y'all like that, ain't it?
Good grief.
Oh,
He's
anyway.
got me believing in nonsense too.
Anyways, oh yeah, that was a cool. Going out on the boat, that's one of my first things to get on, because it's like out here, dude. It's protecting your shoulders.
Yes, and
And
it
everything.
lets your the air breathe under your hat. Like, I love being on the water because you get to wear big goofy hats.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah.
oh man, but yeah, he got to experience when he was on board. He got to experience the real drama, and there was drama.
we had drama. It's all coming.
Good grief, man.
We had drama.
And I was like, once it was all over and we realized we weren't going to die, I said to him, I was like, dude, I'm glad you get to experience the good and the bad.
Yeah, yeah, that was good stuff.
I remember him pulling up and he was like, so how's the wind been? I'm like, no, it's not too bad. And then it was ludicrous. I wound up on the.
You know what's so crazy is
sandbar.
we went through the bad blow and no problems at all. As soon as you stepped off the boat,
Yeah.
friggin'
But they got to hand feed deer on
yeah,
Cumberland
yeah,
Island
Yes,
and see the old mansion
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
spend the night on the boat, and we fished and you were crabbing. We pulled crabs up out of the water in a crab trap.
Yeah.
So many good times had
yes,
in such a short period of time.
yes, yeah,
So Chris really got to experience it. I know it'll be neat for whoever comes.
yeah.
It's
Guys,
stressful for us, but you'll
we-
love it.
I know Marty, same thing. We so appreciate y'all following along. For me, I'm definitely doing something I've been hoping to do for years, and y'all helping out really makes a big difference. Thank you to all of those that show up. Thank you to those that help support us financially. It's a pretty big cost, but thank you for watching. Some people can't afford, but just watching our videos makes a huge difference.
Yep.
Coming to these lives makes a huge difference. I very much appreciate what y'all are doing.
Yeah, just the inspiration. That people say that we're inspiring. Well, you guys following us and giving us thumbs ups and stuff like that inspire us too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So for those in there, we'll hopefully see y'all tomorrow. Because you know what's going to be. It's going to be a good time. All right, cool.